Join me as I make a vintage style ad for a jewelry company. This is a poster I made for them in the past. They're called Pinky Blinder and they specialize in men's rings. This time around they wanted something like a mid-century cigarette ad, the focus being on hands and the product, so I enlisted a hand model, my husband Alex. We didn't have a ring box, but this was kind of the same shape and size. It's a little diner magnet that I have. I got several different angles to make sure I could fit his hands together well with the product image. Now I get to work in Photoshop, cutting out his hands and placing them around the photos of the ring box that they sent to me. To get the vintage look, what I did is I made his hands black and white and then I actually colorized them. So I went over and just painted color onto his hands to give them a more vibrant look, like those old ads used to have. Next, I started dropping in text. I wanted to make sure that I chose fonts that were masculine, simple, clean, and of course we have to make sure that the ring box pops. It is the star of the show after all. So I went in and colorized the ring box. Next, I dropped in the ring that's going to be featured in the box. It's a horseshoe ring. It's called the Lucky Bugger. It's got these gorgeous engravings on it too. A lot of times with these old ads, there's the white space with the copy at the bottom, but they usually have an image of the product kind of popping up. This next step is really what levels up the art to make it look like it's an old ad in a magazine, and it's laying this folded paper texture over top. Another very subtle thing I did to make this photo look authentic is I went along each dark edge of the hands and I made a little white highlight next to it, and I did the reverse on the light parts. I did a dark highlight next to the light parts. I guess a dark highlight is called a shadow. Next we had some fun with the copy, figuring out what sort of wording we wanted to include. I dropped in a few new ring varieties at the bottom and labeled them with their style types. And here's a nice close-up look at the texture. If you've been on the hunt for a timeless and classic ring, well, now you know where to look. Thanks so much for watching. Keep following along for more vintage style graphic design.